Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are live in Los Angeles with an internationally recognized top nutritionist, best-selling author, Anne Louise Gittleman. Thank you so much for being with us today.
What a pleasure to be with you.
Welcome.
Right?
Wow.
2 New York Times bestseller, 30 books. I mean, you're an icon. And you started here in Santa Monica, right?
In Santa Monica, folks, about 40 years ago. So this is very emotional for me.
Aww.
It was so magnificent to be there on the beach. And this was about 40 years ago in 1980 when I was the director of nutrition at the Pritikin Center. And that was the beginning of the no to low fat diet era where everybody was eating high carbohydrates. And you can see that we've come 360 from that time.
We absolutely have. And much thanks to the work you've done. You've really, truly pioneered in this field.
I've tried, and it wasn't easy in those days. The New York Times was after me, so was the Boston Globe. They said Nathan Pritikin would be turning in his grave, but I promoted a 40% fat diet, and now we're up to 70%.
Wow.
So we talk a lot about the right kind of fats, and I noticed in the last segment you were talking about that, but there's a lot of misconception. So in my book, the new one, Radical Metabolism, we talk about hemp seed oil, and the new mantra is hemp, hooray.
Hooray! You know, I'm not going to lie. In my opinion, I was always scared of any fat. Good, bad fat
So
was a
true.
no-go. So now that I know hemp, hooray, what other fats should I be looking for in my diet?
Well, interestingly enough, the good fats, and we're talking about hemp seed oil, hemp seeds, flax seeds, which you know are so very good for your emotions and for your hormones and for your prostate. All of that is so very important. They're known as the essential fats. And one that I talk about, which is the secret sauce in radical metabolism, is known as pine nut oil.
Wow.
And that is so magical for clearing up GERD, helping with your esophagus, and healing your entire gut from your mouth to your rear end.
So, I mean, do you take it by the spoonful?
By the spoonful. And if you do so, no GERD, no H. pylori, which is the bacteria that creates ulcers. It is probably the most important thing that I've ever written about.
Wow.
Really?
What can we eat? Say, like, I like the supplements, it's fine, and like taking the oil, but what can we actually eat to have all that in our diet?
So what you can actually eat is the hemp seed oil that you use as a dressing.
Okay.
1 to 2 tablespoons a day. The hemp seeds that you can put on your salads and even on popcorn, because a little bit of popcorn is actually good for you, with a little bit of olive oil and even coconut oil. And we want to have something called macadamia nut oil for high heat cooking.
Really?
Interesting.
Interesting indeed, and very tasty.
So what does this actually do to our metabolism? I mean, the book, Radical Metabolism, how does it affect it?
It triggers your metabolism because when you eat the right kind of oils, in the process of breaking them down, it converts an inactive T4 to activated T3, which is the active thyroid hormone. That there's a connection between breaking down fats and the right fats and your thyroid. And you know that thyroid is absolutely rampant in terms of hypothyroidism and autoimmune illness. So there's a connection between the gallbladder and the thyroid that I talk about in the book.
Right.
And that's the reason that so many women and men that have their thyroids removed or even their gallbladders see a downward cycle in the metabolism.
So speaking of, you talk a lot about how keto is not for everyone, and I do think that a lot of people are doing that because they were going from the non-fat, what we're all like addicted to a long time ago, 0 fat, to having all this fat, and we're trying to go over to this keto thing to try and get our fat system going. So where's that balance for us? How do we know when it works and doesn't
Good
work?
question. So keto is going in the right direction, but it's the wrong kind of fats. Not everybody can tolerate saturated fats. That's why there's so much pancreatitis, problems with sluggish metabolism, and problems with kidney stones with people on keto. So they have to follow a radical metabolism diet to get the right kind of fats with the right kind of ratio, which actually should be 4 to 1 in favor of the omega-6, which has been a forbidden fat. So I try to break new ground yet once again in this book because I think people need it. There's so much autoimmune illness. There's so much thyroid problems and people without a gallbladder. So this book is for them. No to slow losers, and people over the age of 40 will really benefit the most from this book.
But even people like me have started to have issues
In their 20s.
Yeah, with their gallbladder and their thyroid not performing right just because of how poorly I ate in my past affected my system now. I'm not over 40 yet, but I'm having these issues today.
So that's why this book and its secrets will work even faster for the 20s and 30s.
Well, it seems like it's very high, and I mean, you're so intelligent. You have such wisdom, and you speak in a scientific manner. Is it digestible for most people? Is it going to be like a step by step for them? They can really
What we do is we revamp the fats, reboot the gallbladder, we support your intestinal tract because your skinny gut is a skinny waistline, and we also rebuild your muscles and detoxify your body. So it's laid out very, very simply for anybody to follow. And remember the mantra, hemp, hemp.
Love that. I got a quick question. So lots of people want to write books, and maybe they don't want to write about nutrition, but maybe something else. Any tips or things that you've learned over the years about writing 30 books and 2 bestsellers?
Oh, that's a good question. What would I have said to my younger self
Yes.
40 years ago? I think what's important is that you make an outline. You don't have to do the whole book. You make a proposal, which is an outline of all the chapters, the first chapter, and tell why you think your book is marketable. Why is your book going to be selling? Why are you different than anybody else on the market? What's unique about you?
And how'd you push through to get all those 30 books done?
Right.
I think so many people have
Hemp,
trouble with just
hooray!
one. That's what it is. It's the hemp.
Hemp.
I love it. Yeah.
Well, you know what it is? It's almost like a calling, and I think that my calling found me. So you push ahead because there's so much illness, and I was named after a grandmother that I never knew. Her name was Anna, and she died of mysterious illness, and I always wanted to figure out what was the reason behind the illness. So I kept looking and underlying causes and things that were really under the hood, and that's what I think I tried to do in all of my 35 books.
Phenomenal.
And in doing that,
Thank you so
you've
much.
saved so many lives.
Well, I'm trying to help people and inspire them to do what's best for themselves, and there's so much conflicting information,
is.
which is why I felt I needed to write yet another book like Radical Metabolism.
Wow, it's a great name, great title. I just want to totally honor you as a woman. Like I
that's
mean,
so
just like, oh,
sweet.
you're just a love.
That's so
And it's
sweet.
really important for women to see, you know, women of all ages also. Like you're such an amazing, beautiful woman, and thank you for all your work.
That's
that
so
you do for
sweet.
all of us. Yeah.
70 and strong.
That's
Beautiful,
right.
immortal,
Yes.
and gorgeous.
That's
right.
right.
So tell
Aw.
everyone where they can follow your journey and find all your books.
RadicalMetabolism.com would be the best place. We have an active Facebook page, but come and visit at RadicalMetabolism.com.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Anne.
so much.
We appreciate
Thank
you.
you all.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.